that 4-game stretch. It nearly cost them last week in one of their performances. If McMillan can be consistent from the foul line and continue to get everyone involved, then Stetson will get their payback after losing in Jacksonville earlier this year.
We're tipped and underway in DeLand. McMillan at 33 against Jacksonville 2 weeks ago. That was not enough, though, as JU had a well-balanced performance and won the game by 6. Stetson looking for some revenge tonight. Jacksonville's in green, Stetson's in white. The two schools have almost identical color schemes. Jacksonville's green is a little bit darker than Stetson's. And we got a travel here from talented freshman Tatum Brown. The Hatters will take possession of the basketball. Early turnover for JU. That's a big thing that they thrive on, is leading you in the small things. They get to the free throw line, Victor, more than any team in all of women's basketball. #1 in the country in free throw attempts per game, and they're in the top 50 in turnover margin and steals per game. That tends to be how they separate.
And the Stetson lineup, which has been consistent during this 7 out of 9 game streak they've been on to close out the regular season. Rose Casso, the X factor, and as if on cue, she gets the first points for Stetson. Coach Brimvria has referenced Casso being in that pivot position, so critical to Stetson's offensive success.
Casso gets the start tonight, 1 and done for Jacksonville, trying to go quickly through Kamari Mitchell on the other end. Here is McMillan and Stetson's talented post player, Aaliyah Sorrentino. Haven't even mentioned Cam Thomas, Stetson's leading scorer. Here's McMillan for 3, that's no good. Sorrentino, the offensive board.
That's going to be key for Stetson to limit Jacksonville getting those rebounds. Jacksonville, one of the top rebounding teams in the conference, not as dominant on the boards as they have been in the past couple years, but still can hold their own with the best of them.
Thomas, mid-range J, and just can't get the friendly bounce. Mitchell with the rebound for JU. Here's the starting 5 for Jacksonville. Super young team. Brown, Mitchell, 2 underclassmen. Their bench is primarily composed of freshmen and sophomores. Here is Brown. Flips that one up and in for JU's first 2 points. Brown coming off a career-high 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 steals in their win last weekend over Florida Gulf Coast.
And led herself to win ASUN Freshman of the Week for the 3rd time this season. And really, she's the favorite to be ASUN Freshman of the Year with how she's performed so far.
Great cut by Promise Keshi. Sorrentino finds her. How about the game Keshi had over the weekend? 19 points, by far a career high for a player who is known as a defensive ace, but not much of a scorer. Boy, did she make an impact as the Hatters blew out EKU.
And her first career double-double, chipped in 11 rebounds to go along with the solid defensive play and effort that you're going to expect from the senior from Italy.
And there is Keshi taking it away from Williams. They trapped her with Casso. Keshi lays it up, no good, but Cam Thomas there to clean it up. Missed the follow-up with no defenders. The second one is no good. Keshi gets another offensive rebound. Casso now wide open for 3. Well, the Hatters end up +1 for all of that. Casso with 5 points, and the Hatters up 7-2. Williams the other way, quickly misses, and then knocked out. Touch Casso on the way out. Heads-up play by Bowman. Well, we'll get an early sub here as Anaya Smith going to check in for Mitchell. Williams does turn the ball over a lot, and it looks like Casso and Keshi just baited her in there, and then a wild sequence on the other end leads to a Casso 3.
That backside defense Casso provides to Promise Keshi makes things so difficult for players on an inbound, trying to get the ball in the entry on the low post. That's what makes Stetson's defense so efficient, is when they get that backside help from Keshi and Casso, it makes things so difficult for their opponents.
Good start for the home team, up 7-2, 3 minutes in. Here's Micaiah Miller. Wright State transfer, having a really nice year. Drives the baseline, up and under, way too strong. Sorrentino with another board. Top 2 rebounders in the league, Williams and Sorrentino duking it out tonight. Here's Thomas. The pick and roll, they'll throw it around. Casso open again, that one way off. Keshi trying to chase it down, just couldn't get it to stay in play. Hatters, though, showing that effort on the glass so far. They were dominant on the glass against Eastern Kentucky. Actually edged themselves into positive territory in their rebounding margin for the year, which has hovered around even for most of the season. Bowman takes a long 2. Jacksonville taking a lot of less than desirable shots early in the shot clock, Victor. It looks like Stetson's speeding them up a little bit.
And that's what Calvin Bria wants to do. You want to play Jacksonville. You kind of want to get them up tempo, so you kind of give them the bait, trying to let them pay with pace, get that early miss, and trying to get them out in transition. That's worked for Stetson so far after the 7-2 start.
McMillan driving, blows by her defender, but misses the layup short. Hatters have missed a couple gimmies here. Could have a larger lead. Williams coast to coast, up and in. Get yourself a 6'2 center who can handle. You're going to have a nice season. Priscilla Williams, star player. Hatters moving the ball around. Casso passes up the open three this time. Keshi going to drive. Turn around, flip jumper is good. Has promised Keshi. Found something offensively here down the stretch. How massive would that be for Stetson?
Because everyone's so focused on McMillan and Thomas, what they've been able to do as that one goes back by Jacksonville.
Beautiful move by Williams and Bowman. Oh, here's Keshi again. McMillan finds her wide open.
Because you're so focused on McMillan and Keshi, and for McMillan and Thomas, it opens things up for Sorrentino and Keshi. And Keshi already with 6 early points, showing no real signs of a letdown from her 19-point game against EKU.
And that's what she's known for. Blocks the shot from behind. Tatum Brown never saw her coming. Keshi may be the best defensive player in the A-Sun over the last couple of years.
And the thing what makes her so impressive, and we've highlighted it so many times, her ability to block with the outside hand and prevent getting called for those fouls when you have a similar situation.
And it comes to Bowman. This is Williams. She's been guarded by Casso early. Drives inside, left it strong. Offensive rebound, Bowman, no good with the putback. Jacksonville struggling to find anything offensively right now. McMillan drives into the teeth of the defense. Thomas contested corner three. Way short. It lands with Keshi. Thomas there underneath. It's knocked out of her hands off the miss. Stetson will keep it though. Brown was out of bounds when she went to grab the rebound. Stetson just out hustling Jacksonville so far. Promised Keshi with 6 early points, and the Hatters up the touchdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Stetson Hat Shuffle.
It's almost March. You know what that means. We're watching other games as well as the one we're on. And good news for both of these teams that need North Alabama to lose tonight. Central Arkansas with a big early lead in Florence. Stetson requires a UNA loss to wrap up a top 4 spot tonight if they win. Jacksonville just needs to win. If they don't, the UNA loss would see them in regardless to the top 4, thanks to their 9-game winning streak that has put them in pretty good position to challenge a suddenly collapsing Eastern Kentucky for an ASUN regular season championship. The Colonels have lost 3 in a row after a 13-0 start. Rose Casso does all the hard work, then missed it short and never touched the rim, so it's a shot clock violation. To go the other way. Both teams have been really inefficient around the rim early on.
Yeah, kind of surprising. Although
that ball touched the rim.
Yeah, that didn't look like it touched the rim, and I think that's what Lynn Bree is kind of pleading to our officials, Heather Marshall, Nevada Wilson, and Marlon Wong.
That absolutely should be Stetson basketball. That ball touched the rim, and Casso clearly had possession of the offensive rebound, and now the officials are going to get together. I wonder if they're going to change the call here and give Stetson the ball with 20 on the shot clock.
Right, because Stetson clearly had possession when they had that rebound. Nope, not going to go to the monitor.
Wow. This should be Stetson ball. That's a lifeline for Jacksonville, who have struggled badly through the first 5.5 minutes of this game. They've been turnover happy, and when they haven't, they've struggled finishing around the rim. See what they can do here. Smith floats up a prayer, and it's answered. Well, Smith's been coming on late. 11.5 points a game in her last 9. Shooting 43% from the field in that span. Two-man game. Sorrentino floats it in from Casso.
And you're noticing, Evan, they got Williams guarding on McMillan, so it gives an opportunity for Sorrentino and Casso to have a carry on Anaya Smith.
Another Jacksonville turnover.
And the biggest thing, Evan, when you have Sorrentino and Casso involved, because they're going to try and focus the energy, they're trying with Special Jennings in their 3rd season, on limiting McMillan and Cam Thomas. Right now, they've done that. They've held them to a combined 0 for 7. The problem is it's been Keshi and Kesso and Sorrentino who have been doing the heavy lifting for Stetson.
On a pass by Keshi, but Sorrentino can't hang on under pressure from Mariah Knight. Early days here, but Jacksonville 3 of 11 from the field with 3 turnovers.
Yeah, they've really been, and the only reason they've been able to get baskets, Evan, is that they have 3 offensive rebounds and have led to all of those points.
That one last touch by Knight. Rose Casso again providing premium defense. She'll take a breather here for Candela Garcia Escribano-Pozo. But the Hatters have the ability to have either Keshi or Casso on the floor if they're both not in foul trouble at all times. Just a nightmare for opposing offenses.
And we referenced that, Evan, before we came on the air tonight, is that when Stetson has had trouble during this stretch and Sorrentino will go to the line, is when Casso, Keshi, or both have been played with foul trouble. And when Sorrentino gets involved in the offense like she has been here, you're going to get an opportunity, and she goes to the foul line to shoot 2.
How about this? That's the first foul of the game. 7 minutes in.
Wow.
Remember, this Jacksonville team shoots over 26 free throws per game. That is the most in the country. Stetson has yet to foul them. Sorrentino has had a regrettable year at the line. She is a 48% free throw shooter, which is remarkable because she's a 41% three-point shooter. She's almost as good at the top of the key as she is from the foul line. But that one is a 1 for 2 trip, so that'll bump that average up very slightly. The Hatters take an 8-point lead. Anaya Smith driving the lane. Floater is up, no good. And good rebounding by Stetson. It was Escribano-Pozo who knocked it down to Keshi. Now McMillan accelerates. Turns it back outside. Keshi. Sorrentino draws attention from 2, fighting through the traffic, and they're going to call it for traveling.
Yeah, and they're getting almost an inadvertent elbow to the munch for Jacksonville on that last play. And you notice that Stetson, they're going to double down on Sorrentino. They're going to try and double down on anything towards the painted area. And Stetson has done a good job so far, Evan, really, in terms of finding that free offensive player and getting that ball around to get quality shots.
Jacksonville struggling to get good looks of their own. Let's see if Brown can cook something up here. Baseline J, that is true. Tatum Brown, the highest ranked recruit in JU history, their first top 100 commit. She has paid that off. A terrific freshman season. As Vic referenced, the frontrunner for the league rookie of the year. Jora Epley works it around to Garcia Escribano-Pozo, and she is going to get a held ball here. It'll stay with the Hatters.
Nice defense by Jacksonville, and Brown jumping in the middle, causing that tie-up.
Brown is second in the league in steals, averaging 2.2 per game. Gotta be careful with the basketball around her. Jacksonville going to sub here as they had an injury. Like Mariah Knight, who took a knock there as a tissue on her face, maybe a little bit of blood, so they pull her off for Bailey Burns, who has not played in the last 3 games. Good to see her back. McMillan drains a three from the top of the key. First three for McMillan as she starts to heat up.
And that's what's made Mary McMillan so proficient during that 4-game stretch. And Williams
answers. Both those players in their final years looking to carry their teams to ASUN championship glory in the next couple of weeks. Both have been all over. Very 2020s college basketball careers for the two of them, but they've found homes. Here's Epley, a corner three, a little bit strong. Tried to chase down her own miss. Smith gets there first. Jacksonville on the run. Miller attacking. Missed the shot. Good contest from McMillan.
Stetson has done a very great job, Evan, in this first quarter, defending without fouling.
Epley around the closeout, knocks down a three. Jora Epley's percentage a little bit down this year at 31%. She was a 38% three-point shooter last year. Can't leave her open like that.
And she'll make you pay. Great job getting that ball fake to get that defender to clear out, to give her that extra space.
Miller for three. A little bit strong. Rebound, Garcia Escribano-Pozo, and the Hatters can hold for the final attempt of the quarter. It was so smart of them to get that quick shot to Epley, too, to get the 2 for 1. Now a chance to go up by double digits. Ooh, careful there. Smith knocks it away, but McMillan hangs on to it. 12 seconds. McMillan going to go early here, sensing the pressure. Little floater, up and in. Jacksonville with time here to respond. Smith brings it across the timeline, ahead to Miller, 2 seconds. Sorrentino there. Miller forces it through at the buzzer, and that's going to count for Jacksonville. Micaiah Miller gets those. Miller, a historic night, had 33 points, but Cam Thomas just 5 points on 1 of 8 shooting, and it was a balanced effort from Jacksonville to hold the Hatters off and get that crucial win that now has them at least in position to challenge for an ASUN regular season title.
And the biggest thing for Jacksonville as Mary McMillan starts the second quarter on the bench is getting the ability to get that first round bye. Jacksonville with the win will assure themselves of that, although Central Arkansas helping out both teams up by 13 over North Alabama towards the tail end of the first half in Florence.
EKU, by the way, only up 3 at Austin Peay as they start the fourth quarter. Tatum Brown going to go to the free throw line. Stetson has the tiebreaker with EKU thanks to beating them head-to-head this past weekend, so they're alive for the regular season title as well.
It's easy. Dresden trying to draw the charge. She gets called for the block. And one thing we do want to point out, EKU does end the regular season playing Bellarmine, so Jacksonville needs to win out and have EKU lose once to clinch a share of the regular season championship. Right. EKU would get the 1 seed by virtue of their head-to-head tiebreaker.
Brown, a 75% free throw shooter. Georgia 6A Player of the Year last year at Grayson High School. That was the first foul committed by Stetson in the game. They went the whole first quarter without getting whistled once. So crucial against this Jacksonville team that likes to live at the free throw line. Brown makes both, as Jacksonville tends to do. Keshi, backdoor cut, beautiful. Keshi adding these cuts to her game late in the season. Already 8 points, fresh off the 19 last weekend.
And when you have Promise Keshi doing the job offensively to go along with the defense and takes the pressure off McMillan and Cam Thomas.
Jacksonville turn it over, and then a held ball. It is going the other way. Jorah Epley came up with the rebound. Mikey White trying to keep it for JU, but couldn't win it back cleanly.
Great job by Jorah Epley sticking her nose in the middle of that grit and grind and getting that extra possession for Stetson, as CZ Dresden will serve as the lead guard, with McMillan getting some time to start off the second quarter.
Well, Dreesen's been a key addition, getting healthy at the beginning of January, just to give you a few minutes, give McMillan a rest, run the offense, play aggressive defense. There's Thomas yet to score in this game, and no longer.
The reverse broadcaster jinx.
There you go, Cam Thomas. She was 0 for 5 in the first quarter. 3 of them, I think, were on that one possession where she kept trying to get that putback to go. So a little bit of a misleading statistic there. And Dreesen quickly picks up her second foul on Anaya Smith.
Take a look at Cam Thomas. Good job driving hard on Miller to get her first points, and then the other end, Dreesen getting a little bit too anxious, a little bit of a hip check. Considering we just came from the Winter Olympics, that'll be 2 minutes in the penalty box.
It's actually the first one on Dreesen. They got the initial foul earlier in the quarter on Jorah Epley. And here's Priscilla Williams doing what she does best. Drive the lane and get to the free throw line.
So after going 10 minutes without a foul in that first quarter, Stetson has been whistled for 3 within the first 95 seconds.
And you wonder, did Special Jennings say, we got to be a little bit more physical.
Yes.
Attack them. Let's play our game. Jacksonville doing a little bit more of that. Williams is 78% free throw shooter. She had 16 points in the first game between the two teams a couple of weeks ago. She only made 2 shots from the field in that game. She was 10 for 12 at the line. Misses the second. Jacksonville back within 10. Mary McMillan coming back to the table. Casso just committed her first foul. Dreesen gets mugged, and that's a foul on Jacksonville. Had 2 defenders kind of run into each other there. They're going to get Micaiah Miller.
Jacksonville trying to travel, which has been kind of what they wanted to do with Stetson on this side of the floor. Miller came in, reached, and gets whistled as McMillan will come in for Dreesen.
So it's Keshi getting a breather now. Eva Bradshaw's in the game for Stetson. Sharmella Reed has checked in for Jacksonville. Williams picking up McMillan. Perfectly comfortable defending out on the perimeter. A foul against the Dolphins away from the ball. That's going to be on Reed. We'll reset the shot clock to 20. Bradshaw to inbound for Stetson. Gets it into McMillan, who will run from the top of the key. 5 points, 3 assists already for McMillan. Averaging nearly 25 a game over the last 2 weeks. Hatters trying to throw it down low, and we've got the 3rd foul of the possession against the Dolphins.
And the second calling on Reed, bumping into Sorrentino on that little slip. Actually going to call on Priscilla Williams.
Sure
That's going to
are.
be her first.
So important for her to stay out of foul trouble. So 3 quick ones on the Dolphins. Had 6 fouls in the first 2:15 of the second quarter. We had 1 in the entire first quarter.
We got to call that balancing things out. Could have been a 4th there.
Yeah, Williams got away with that one on Thomas. 6 to shoot here from McMillan. So give it up to Rose Casso. Casso will drive, pull up, throw it up and in. Nice rip through from Rose Casso. Hatters getting everything they want right now.
Good job by Casso staying patient.
Williams the other way. Offensive foul. Well, we've seen Priscilla Williams get and ones over and over and over again doing that, but the Hatters stand their ground.
How about Ava Bradshaw coming in, taking the charge? And when she put her in that lineup during the Holiday Hoops Classic, Coach Bria said we needed somebody that could get a little bit of grit and a little bit of grind defensively. So she put Bradshaw in the lineup. She found something there, and she's been using her more and more as kind of that second defensive ace off the bench, and draws another foul.
And that's the bonus already. And Stetson kind of giving Jacksonville a taste of their own medicine. They draw 5 fouls in the span of about a minute and a half. And Bradshaw's going to shoot 2 free throws.
It's almost as if Jacksonville has been being the bully to everyone else getting to the foul line. Now Stetson's throwing it back in Jacksonville's face, and Jacksonville hasn't found a response for it.
And Williams having the 2 fouls here is a big deal. It has not been lifted from the game just yet. Jacksonville absolutely needs her out there. Down by 12. Bradshaw 9 of 13 at the line this year. He is an excellent shooter at the range. A terrific student as well, 3.7 high school GPA. She was National Honor Society vice president.
And then they go into do they have some blood on the floor potentially? Asking for the
wanted to wipe off a sweat mark, I think, Victor. And maybe just make sure that if there was any blood, yeah, they are going to take care of it now a little bit more assuredly. Lynn Bria, her 18th season, by far the all-time winningest coach in Stetson history. She's actually getting close to doubling up the record there in the next couple of years.
A quick update for those keeping track. Central Arkansas up 38-27 at the half at UNA. So good news for both teams as Bradshaw hits them both.
Remember, even if JU loses tonight, they're in the top 4 guaranteed if North Alabama loses. Smith, quick jump shot, way off. Jacksonville, everything is out of sorts right now. They have not made a field goal in the second quarter. Stetson threatening to pull away here early. McMillan trying to get around Williams, so much length. Goes out to Bradshaw, she'll drive on Smith. Bradshaw to Cam Thomas, pulls up for 3, way off, she knew it right away. Trying to chase it down. So Thomas has been a little off lately, starting to get back into a groove though. 19 points a game in her last 2, but she has struggled in 2 games now this year against Jacksonville.
And this is why you're having players like Rose Casso, Promise Keshi fill that scoring void from Thomas, being even more critical as Stetson's out to this huge lead. It's about no production for the preseason player of the year.
Keshi with 8 to lead the Hatters so far. Mitchell driving on McMillan. Count the basket and a foul. Kamari Mitchell giving Jacksonville a spot.
Great job by Mitchell. Fighting through on McMillan, getting the little extra bump and the foul.
Not a whole lot there on McMillan, maybe with the body. Mitchell in her sophomore season out of Richmond, Virginia. She has made all 7 of her free throw attempts in her last 5 games. She got off to a terrible start this year at the line, but has worked very hard to improve. And that one is perfect. 3-point play from Mitchell, badly needed for Jacksonville.
Needed that in the worst way, given how things are going, and we're gonna have a stoppage of time. Did the clock not run?
Yeah, it was a shot clock did not turn on, so they're going to put it at 27 seconds. Keshi back for Stetson. It is McMillan, Bradshaw, Thomas, Keshi, and Sorrentino against Brown, White, Mitchell, Williams, and Reed. Down low, Sorrentino flips it up and in.
That's what Stetson's going to have to do. They're going to trap. They're going to have a mismatch down in the paint with Sorrentino, and they take advantage that time.
Mitchell pulls back for two. What a shot that was from Kamari Mitchell. A huge 5 points for Jacksonville.
And it's really trying to keep them in this game single-handedly.
Hatters are 4 of 5 from the field in the second quarter. This is Keshi to the corner, and Brown gets a piece of it. Stay with the Hatters. Dreesen and Casso coming back for Thomas and McMillan.
Jacksonville almost playing like a 1-3-1 zone where they're trying to trap everything down inside. So Stetson has to continue to be very patient, find that open player, and execute the offense.
Bradshaw, three is blocked. Sorrentino gets it, has 5 seconds to shoot. Into the traffic, held ball going the other way. Williams just grabbing hold and winning the ball back for the Dolphins, who seem to have a little bit of a spark now.
And you saw all 5 sets of eyes went on Sorrentino when she got that miss. And here comes Williams on the back of your screen. Gets that tie up and gives Jacksonville the possession.
See if they can get within single digits. It's Brown. White, sophomore out of Texas. She drives and shoots way off. Rebound, Casso. Hatters have numbers if they go. It's Dreesen challenging Williams. She'll have to pull up. Smart there by Dreesen, and then Brown knocks another one into the seats. That'll take us to a timeout on the floor. Hatters nursing a double-digit lead. Kamari Mitchell, though, starting to bring Jacksonville back in it. Hatters by 11, just under 5 to play in the second quarter.
Hey, John B. Need another debit card, huh? Don't worry, we got you covered.
When convenience matters most, it's video banking from Insight Credit Union for the win! Safe, secure personal service without having to bank in person. Insight Credit Union and you. Better together.
Stetson has really helped me find myself and just my interests, and it's helped me prioritize myself, put me first, find out what I'm interested in to make a difference.
At Watson Realty, we continue to make selling your home easier and safer than ever. Simply contact a Watson Realtor to discuss your goals and determine your home's value. Then we'll market to ideal buyers and arrange for tours that match everyone's comfort level. Best of all, though we've adapted our methods to a new environment, we still offer legendary service and get your home sold. Sell the Watson way. Simple, safe, sold.
This is Jacksonville University. It's not just a perfect place for sunny waterfront beauty shots. Although, here you choose the future you want. How? By defining it yourself. You customize your path and make it one of a kind. You want to build a future where you decide what impact you make? You want to create a life that's limited by nothing but your own ingenuity? You've come to the right place.
Jacksonville searching for answers, down 11. Kamari Mitchell with 5 second quarter points to keep them in the game, but the Hatters are rocking and rolling here. A balanced effort, 7 different players have scored. Promise Keshi with 8 to lead the Hatters. Evan West and Victor Anderson here from Insight Credit Union Arena in DeLand. Happy to have you with us tonight. Two of the top 3 teams in the A-Sun as presently constituted. Stetson's won 7 of 8. Jacksonville's won 9 in a row, one shy of their school record. They won 10 straight in a 2007-08 season. That is very much in jeopardy here. Rose Casso, pull-up jump shot, no good. Rebound, Priscilla Williams. Dolphins have slowed the Hatters a little bit over the last few possessions, Vic. Now they've got to find some offense.
They got to find some offense. They're struggling in the field for that 2 of 5 in the second quarter, but getting back to the free throw line, 4 of 5 from the charity stripe, and another steal from Promise Keshi.
She is so natural in those passing lanes. Just instinctive. Casso steps around for 3. That's good. Rose Casso with 10 points in the first half. She has shot way below her career averages all season. That's starting to regress to the mean a little bit. And Priscilla Williams' his intended target there, I think, was Victor Anderson.
Well, wait, we see, Evan, I have my hands up. And the last possession, Rose Casso again, getting Williams to pass by, getting that wide open 3, great pass by McMillan, getting that extra dribble from Casso to knock down that triple. Let's remember, Casso came into this last year at Merrimack, was a 35% shooter from three-point land. So she knows how to get the shots to fall down when she's given those opportunities.
This could not hit the ocean back in December, but has really fixed a lot of that as the season has progressed. Garcia Escrivano-Pozo with a travel.
Really how Stetson continues to not panic when they get that trap. They find to keep the ball moving. They don't let the ball stick, because when Stetson has let that ball stick, when they got in trap, that's when they've gone into some issues with their offense.
Keshi again! Promise Keshi, free safety! She's in double figures again. Timeout, JU. Promise Keshi lives to steal.
And she's been doing it her last 2 seasons. She instinctively knows where that pass is going to go and takes this all the way for the uncontested layup. Just jumped right in the lane. It's almost as if, Evan, we've seen this the last 3 years now since she's really been getting consistent minutes. Her instincts, her ability to read where the ball is going to be. And this is what she does when she gets those opportunities. 19 points, 11 rebounds, her first career double-double. And she's well on the way to doing it again. 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, an assist, a block, and you know the rest of the song.
She stuffs the stat sheet. As good as a 20-a-game scorer, but as a defensive player. Top 10 in the league in steals and blocks, 6 boards a game. Leads the team in field goal percentage, and she's not costing you points with bad shots or anything like that. What a player.
And remember, Evan, the first couple of years when she was an early enrollee, she was a liability on the offensive end. Now she's become a very valuable asset to go along with that tremendous defense and energy.
She's face guarding Tatum Brown. Jacksonville needs to go on a little run here to stay in this thing. No one has blitzed them like this in quite a while. And a shot clock violation. The Hatters are all over the Dolphins.
And whatever Coach Lambria and her coaching staff, when they dissected that film for that first meeting in Swisher Gymnasium, they've applied those little nuances, those tweaks, and you can see the fruits of that labor. Up by 16 and in danger of really blowing things out of the water. And they're doing this, Evan, with a combined 7 points from Mary McMillan and Cameron Thomas.
Keshi and Casso with 10 each. McMillan just 5. She's been content to be the facilitator tonight. This is Thomas, and she's bumped. She'll go to the line. That is on Bowman, her first.
And what's been so remarkable, Evan, about this first half for Stetson is that they haven't really panicked. I've referenced so many times when Jacksonville puts the pressure, when they trap, Stetson has been real poised. They've been calm in the chaos, and they've been able to get themselves this huge lead as Thomas hits the free throw for only her 3rd point of the first half.
Thomas, an excellent free throw shooter, nearly 80% for the year, a team high. Knocks down both. Hatters by 18, Vic. I don't think we expected this at all.
No. Certainly was not on the bingo card when he walked into the arena this evening.
Mitchell, pull up Jay. That's strong. Rebound Thomas again, one and done for Jacksonville.
And Stetson has allowed Jacksonville to stretch themselves, shooting 15 feet and out. That's why Stetson has been getting those long rebounds and limiting those possessions to one and done.
And just 5 free throw attempts for JU. McMillan working against Brown, dribbled off her own foot, has it back though. Now Keshi will drive, working on Williams. There's the trap, they get it out. McMillan flows it up, it hits the rim, but it's down to Williams. She's trying to get out in transition. Williams attacking Thomas, throws it down low. Mitchell fights through the contact, she'll go to the line.
Williams very fortunate. That ball somehow didn't find the hands of Cameron Thomas. Thomas got there just a second late and gets whistled for the foul. So that's going to put Stetson in the bonus.
Mitchell, again, a much improved free throw shot from earlier in the year. Back at the line. And that one is good as well. She's made 9 in a row. Stetson up by 17, though. Jacksonville going to have to chip away at this. Had her crowd getting on Mitchell. She makes both. Mitchell, 7 points in the second quarter. Where would they be without those contributions? Here's McMillan. Brown knocks it away. Mitchell leading the charge for Jacksonville. Mitchell attacking Casso, throws it high off the glass and in. Kamari Mitchell keeping the Dolphins in this game. Keshi gonna bring it up. Brown has done a nice job on McMillan so far to limit her. It's been other players that have hurt Jacksonville. Casso draws the switch. Loses the basketball, but a foul. The JU bench is incensed.
Oh, that was a late whistle. Looked like that steal might have been clean. Here's a better angle for the backside.
I do see the hand, actually, Vic, from that angle. I think it is a foul. It's just the whistle was so late. But you understand why the Jacksonville bench was so upset. But you did see Miller push Casso's hand. Casso makes the first free throw. Rose having a terrific first half, 11 points and chance at one more here. Misses the free throw. 15-point Hatter lead and a quick foul on Stetson.
Called on Keshi.
It's against Keshi. It's her first, and it's going to put Williams on the line.
Take one more look here. That was that little arm kind of going in, but it didn't really see much.
Not a lot there, no. Well, Williams will certainly take it. Chance to get a couple more at the free throw line here. Just her third and fourth attempts of the game. And she misses the first off the front end. Williams, a former 5-star, makes the second. Lead back to 14. Crucial final minute of the second quarter. Brown way out there near the timeline against McMillan. McMillan going to work, head fake, kick. Thomas will drive. Back to McMillan, 8 seconds. The switch to Williams. McMillan to Sorrentino, there's the trap. Sorrentino throws one off the side of the backboard. Casso misses the clean-up jump layup. Wow.
Wow.
That worked out so well for Stetson, and then Casso just had it bounce off the cup. For the Hatters, who led by 18 at one point, this could get down a little bit further here. Tatum Brown to Williams. Casso's on her. Casso around the screen, Williams for three, off the back iron, and that's the end of the second quarter. Ultimately, the Dolphins and their star players just could not make enough shots. The Hatters paced by 11 from Rose Casso, 10 and 3 steals from Promise Keshi, with a 40-26 lead at the break. Stick around, we'll have Stetson Athletic Director Ricky Ray joining us.
Things going in transition, and that's why Keshi is on pace. As you see, one of her 3 steals in the first 20 minutes, she's on pace for her second consecutive double-double.
Keshi been brilliant down this stretch run. Stetson has not needed a ton from their star players. Mary McMillan and Cam Thomas combining for just 9 points in that first half. Keshi and Casso giving them 21 between the two of them. Jacksonville, by the way, only scored 13 points in the second quarter. Mitchell had 9 of them. Where would they be without her contributions?
This is a pivotal first 5 minutes for Jacksonville coming into this third quarter. If they can find a way to cut this down to single digits, and I want to be surprised if Special Jennings tries to do a little pressure, a little bit more trapping, and get Stetson out of the flow of their offense.
Casso dropped that off of a JU player. They'll have 16 seconds to shoot. Both teams with their starters. For the Hatters, McMillan, Thomas, Casso, Keshi, Sorrentino. For Jacksonville, oh, that was dangerous as McMillan ends up with it. Keshi with just enough extension. Brown, Miller, Mitchell, Bowman, and Priscilla Williams. This is McMillan to the corner. Casso for 3. A little bit strong. Rebound, Bowman. Brown looking to speed up the tempo. JU needs quick buckets. Mitchell is fouled. Well, that's what the Hatters need to avoid, is giving Jacksonville a ton of free throw attempts. That's 2 on Casso.
And the reason why Stetson was able to hold Jacksonville to that shooting percentage in the first half was Casso and Keshi avoiding that foul trouble, and Casso picks up her second just 30 seconds in.
Keshi with another steal. Read the lane perfectly, lays it in for 2 more. Goodness gracious.
You referenced to Evans being like a free safety. She sees the pass before you even make it, and that's how she gets that quick first step and gets those steals.
Mitchell throws one up. That one no good. Good box out by Thomas and Sorrentino. Keshi can just change the game on a dime. Brown knocking this one away. Keshi fighting to try and win it back. Last touch by Stetson. Tatum Brown says, okay, promise Keshi, I can do it too.
Great effort, great energy by Brown, diving down on the floor and points that she knows it's Jacksonville basketball.
Brown a little bit shaken up. But the Dolphins, if they have any hope here, are going to need that sort of effort. North Alabama's staying in it, by the way. They're down 9 to Central Arkansas at the end of 3. They need a little push, but that game is not over. Jacksonville would clinch a top 4 spot regardless of what happens tonight with a UNA loss, and Williams knew that what was coming right there. Throws one up to go to the free throw line, and she'll get 2 shots. That's on Sorrentino, her first. Williams is 16th in the country in free throw attempts this season. Get 2 more here. She was 2 for 4 in the first half. She shoots 78%. Williams started at Syracuse, where she had a really good season during the COVID year, but then got hurt. Spent her redshirt sophomore year at USF, then went out to Oregon, but has found a home here with Jacksonville the last 2 seasons, especially this year where she's exploded, averaging 15.5 points, nearly 9 boards a game. She has 9 points tonight. Casso will challenge Miller, dumps it off to Sorrentino, who waits, and the shot is blocked by Williams.
Sorrentino wondering where the foul was on the other end. And the Hatter fans behind us none too pleased, and rightfully so.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of contact there. 6 to shoot for Stetson. Keshi to Thomas in the corner. 4-3. Short. Rebound Williams. And Keshi blocks the outlet pass. It's going to Jacksonville, but Keshi continues to have a massive influence on this game.
Jacksonville has not found any sort of answer for Promise Keshi. Just jumped, didn't really leave her feet that much. It was a lazy pass by Williams. That's how Keshi was able to get the tip and a steal. Jacksonville, fortunate they had a possession arrow.
I just remember her enrolling in the spring of 2023 as a 17-year-old, how timid she was.
Yes.
And sort of unwilling to believe in herself, and the growth that she's had in her time here has been spectacular. That's a good basket there for Bowman. So Jacksonville does pay off the possession. They have a 12-point deficit to overcome. Stetson led by as much as 18 in the second quarter. Hatters moving the basketball. This is Sorrentino. She'll put it on the deck, driving inside. Hook shot is a little short. Keshi the offensive rebound. Leaves it for Thomas. The bunny is good. Keshi again, creating, this time an offensive rebound and an assist for Cam Thomas. Williams to respond, attacking Casso, shrugs her off, blocking foul and one. Basket counts for Williams, and that's 3 on Rose Casso.
That is, then now you're getting into dangerous territory for Stetson. We referenced this in the first half. When Keshi or Casso get in significant foul trouble, that's when the Stetson defense starts to crack.
Williams is starting to take over for Jacksonville. They need this from their alpha. Up to 11 points. Make it 12. McMillan the other way. Brown has really shut her down. It's been Keshi that has made the difference along with Casso for the Hatters. Casso, that was never going anywhere. Mitchell going the other way. JU with numbers. Bowman up and in, and the foul! Jacksonville within single digits and a chance to get it to 8.
And then Bria's going to want a timeout because this Jacksonville team's starting to find their rhythm right now.
Built off drawing fouls, getting out in transition, and Lynn Bria needs a timeout to stem the tide. Jacksonville, they've won 9 in a row. They're not used to losing. They're right back in it. Well, North Alabama coming back. Jacksonville coming back. It's never easy in the A-Sun, is it?
Never is, especially this time of year.
Always exciting. JU down by 18 in the second quarter. Carmea Bowman with a chance to get it down to 8 at the free throw line. Lynn Bria coming out of the timeout. Let's see what she's cooked up. Bowman makes the free throw. This is what you cannot do against Jacksonville, is give them free throws. They're now 11 of 13 for the game. They didn't take one in the first quarter. Hatters have already committed 4 fouls in the third. McMillan working on Bowman, gets to the cup. We really haven't seen that tonight. Her being able to shake Tatum Brown and get to the basket.
It's really been the runners in those floaters from McMillan that's gotten her involved offensively.
Brown no good with the baseline jumper. Good rebound for Casso, who was in the game with the 3 fouls here. They need her out there. This is Thomas, and they're going to get Mitchell for a block. That is the first Jacksonville foul of the quarter.
Good job by Cameron Thomas, and you saw Mitchell was out of control.
I think that could have gone either way, only because you saw Thomas kind of ward off with the elbow a little bit.
It's likely because with the arm didn't fully extend or extend far enough. That's why they whistled Mitchell for the foul instead of Thomas on the offensive.
Thomas Keshi, 12 points to lead the Hatters tonight. She also has 5 steals, 1 off her career high. Casso down low, Sorrentino has a step, scores. Hatters with a quick 4-0 run out of the timeout.
And that's exactly what they needed coming off the timeout. Get in early, get baskets from McMillan in the inside, and now you get Sorrentino on the turnaround jumper.
Bowman posting up, gets it over Sorrentino. What a finish by Carmea Bowman.
And she did a great job, understood that she was going to get some contact, and back the other way, Stetson can't convert.
McMillan looking for her own, and it's out for Casso in the end. Jacksonville will get it back down 10 as Casso checks out for Garcia Escribano-Pozo.
And now, if you're head coach Lynn Bria, your brain trust, you're trying to figure out what can you do to limit Jacksonville coming back.
And Tatum Brown check out of the game for Anaya Smith. 2 super talented freshman guards. Official having a word with Kamari Mitchell. Now we're good to go. Smith missed almost all of the non-conference injured. She has been tearing it up over this 9-game winning streak. Miller for 3. What a big shot that is. Micaiah Miller, one of Jacksonville's few really plus 3-point shooters, knocks one down to cut it down to 7. Just the second made 3 of the game for the Dolphins. Keshi around the screen. Keshi pulls up for a floater. That is good. She has such a soft touch on her shot.
And just like that, I mean, she's already up to 16.
Wow. Smith throws one up and was trying to draw the foul and does, and that is on Garcia Escribano-Pozo, her first. We'll take us to a timeout. Jacksonville doing what they do best, drawing fouls and making shots. Chance to get it down to 7 again when we come back. Interestingly, Victor, Jacksonville, one of the best teams in the country in terms of turnover margin this year. Stetson, middle of the pack, slightly better than average, but the Hatters are +3 tonight. They were +4 at halftime. Jacksonville starting to turn that around a little bit, but 19 points off of Stetson turnovers, or off of Jacksonville turnovers for Stetson has really been a big difference here. As Anaya Smith, an 80% free throw shooter, misses the first here for JU.
And you look at the region, Jacksonville has cut this to a 9-point deficit. They have 7 points off of turnovers in the third quarter. They only had 6 off of Stetson turnovers in the first half.
Smith makes the second. Jacksonville starting to get to the line at will. Already 6 attempts here in the third. That has helped them come back to an 8-point deficit after trailing by 14 at half, 18 in the second quarter. Here's Cameron Thomas, ASUN's leading scorer, but she's been quieter in the last month. Hand to Mary McMillan, 6 to shoot. McMillan, who's been red hot, throws one up with the right hand. That's no good. Sorrentino trying to tap it out, and there's a foul on Sorrentino, and that's going to put Bowman on the line.
Yeah, trying to tap it back, but when you take a look at Sorrentino on the left of your screen, that contact with the upper head and neck area, and it'll put the Dolphins right back to the free throw line where they've lived in this third quarter.
Bowman, another plus free throw shooter on a team loaded with him, 78%. Really good D2 player at Shepherd University in West Virginia. Has translated well to Division I. She leads the team in field goal percentage and offensive rebounding this year. And she's got both free throws. Jacksonville within 6. Rose Casso back for Stetson. Sorrentino will get a breather, and the Hatters will go a little bit smaller here. Keshi throws a beautiful ball down low to Casso. Stuck in the trees, and she'll go to the line.
This is what Stetson has to do to get themselves some more breathing room. They get the easy feed on a little backdoor slip to Casso. Good job by Jacksonville standing firm within that defensive position, but they get the whistle, and Casso will go to the line to shoot 2. Meanwhile, we talked about how Jacksonville was cutting the deficit here in the land. North Alabama is doing that at home versus Central Arkansas. They're down by 5, 52-47. 6 minutes left to go inside Florence.
They were down double digits early in that game. Well, UNA very much would like to be part of that top 4. Casso misses the second free throw. 7-point game here in DeLand. Smith quickly attacking. 2 more free throws coming for Jacksonville. Attempts 9 and 10 in the third quarter. This is what they do.
And this is why, if you're a defender, they always seem to get into your body as you're getting yourself in a vertical defensive position. And I can hear Lynn Bria over here across the court from us, none too pleased about the whistles that have gone the way of the visitors from Duval.
Smith makes the first. Freshman out of Avon, Indiana, McDonald's All-American nominee. Getting her healthy has been a big part of JU's push. Second one goes. 5-point game. All the momentum in the visitors' corner. Here's Keshi. Get it back to McMillan. It's been quiet tonight. Can she make something happen here? She'll attack Priscilla Williams. Just walled off, and then Smith trying to save it, keeps it in bounds. Bradshaw will attack. She's run out. McMillan for 3, not even close. And Mitchell leaks out the other way. Keshi!
Oh man, I think Mitchell hit the side of her head hard.
Oh dear. Mitchell gets blasted after Keshi comes out with an outrageous chase down block.
Chessie, you see Keshi chasing on the outside. Gets that clean. You saw that little contact on the back end that caused Mitchell to land awkwardly on her left side.
She's going to stay in. That is a great sign. Don't worry about anything where she landed up near the head neck area, but Mitchell able to get back up, stay in the game. Sorrentino back for Bradshaw for Stetson. Miller off the inbound, knocks down a three! Jacksonville within 2. Micaiah Miller with her second three of the quarter. JU has scored 23 points in 7 minutes of the third quarter. And whistle for a foul on Bowman. Just the third foul committed by JU. Here's the three from Miller.
Great inbounds pass. They get Miller on a nice little shot on the shot on the wing and buries her second triple. And it's getting very interesting here in the land.
Sorrentino floater in. Good inbound play by the Hatters. And the lead back to 4. Jacksonville, though, feeling good. Miller. Kick it out, Williams. Williams, a tough shot, knocks it down. Well, tough for some people, maybe, not for Priscilla Williams. She has 14. Everything going in for Jacksonville right now. McMillan looking for room. Sorrentino from the high post. Back to Keshi, they leave her open. No good. Casso flying in. Foul over the back on Rose Casso. That's her fourth. Saw that coming a mile away, Victor.
You can understand the frustration for Casso. Again, another late whistle on a foul involving Casso. And Lynn Bria's going to be forced to bring that Cameron Thomas, bring Thomas back in.
Casso with 4 fouls has to come out of the game. All 4 picked up in this quarter. More free throws for Jacksonville and a chance to tie the game at the line for Mitchell. An 18-point deficit about to be swept away. Mitchell, whose 9 in the second quarter were so crucial in keeping JU in the game. It could have easily been 20 plus for Stetson. Maybe they don't have the room to make this comeback. Mitchell ties the game. Jacksonville has scored more points in the third quarter than they did the entire first half, and they have come back from down 18. Wow. Like a hurricane sweeping in off the Atlantic. Stetson in all sorts of trouble. Mitchell takes it away. Here goes Williams for the lead. Count the basket and a foul!
This is Jacksonville basketball. That's how they've gone to this 9-game winning streak. And Williams gives Jacksonville their first lead of the night.
Wow. Nine personal fouls called against Stetson in this third quarter. Williams sinks the free throw. Jacksonville on a 15-3 run to take the lead. They have put up 30 in the third quarter, and there's still a minute and a half left.
And Lynn Bria has had enough of these officials, and I think the officials have had enough of Lynn Bria.
Sorrentino finally gets a call. And she will shoot a pair. That is on Miller, her second. This is the fourth foul called on Jacksonville here in the third. Sorrentino 1 of 2 at the line tonight. 9 points, 8 boards for the Hatters center. Tatum Brown back for Jacksonville. First is pure for Sorrentino tonight. And the second. 2 big free throws for Sorrentino. The lead cut to 1. Smith running it up the floor. Brown, corner 3. It's good! Jacksonville lighting it up from every level. And a steal for Mitchell. They want to push the tempo. Williams takes it inside on Keshi and scores! Lynn Bria just desperate to get to the end of the quarter. Doesn't want to burn another timeout. But this is threatening to get out of hand the other way.
Yes, Stetson needs a basket in the worst way right now.
McMillan's had no room to breathe all night. Thomas is 2 for 9. Who do they turn to? Here is Thomas, 7 to shoot. Pulls up, shot is blocked. Williams comes away with it. Keshi runs her down and steals it back. 6th steal of the night for Keshi. McMillan goes inside, count the basket and a foul. Keshi again gives the Hatters another chance, and Mary McMillan goes straight through to get the Hatters back in it.
And look at Carmes Keshi coming from a high pick in the pocket of Priscilla Williams. Gives the Hatters a chance, and here comes McMillan. Drives the other way, gets bumped into by Anaya Smith. Count the basket and the foul. And some life for Stetson in the end of this third quarter.
First free throw of the night for McMillan is up and good. That puts her in double figures and cuts the lead in half. Let's see what Jacksonville can do with this last possession. Smith will let it roll up. 13 seconds. Looking to build on a 3-point lead. It's Priscilla Williams for 3. Way off. Epley the board. Hatters have time. McMillan with 1 second gonna have to hoist it for the tie off the side of the backboard. A 35-point barrage from the Dolphins. 35 in the third quarter. Not only wiping out an 18-point deficit, but taking at one point a 6-point lead. Now 3 as we start the fourth quarter. And by the way, even if they don't hold on to this, they can probably celebrate, as Central Arkansas has just about put North Alabama away, up by 7 with 35 seconds left. Not final yet, we'll let you know when it is, but that would lock JU into the top 4. Would also mean if the Hatters can win, they would be locked into the top 4. Certainly looked like they were going to win for a large portion of this game, but Jacksonville has roared back. 19 points from star player Priscilla Williams. Aaliyah Sorrentino for the Hatters. Lefty, tough shot, no good. Had very little chance. Been doubling and tripling her all night. Williams for 3, no good. Mitchell flies in for the rebound. How good has she been?
Those are the kind of plays that Stetson had going in their favor in the first half. And in the third quarter, it's been Jacksonville who has won those long rebounds, winning those 50-50 balls and getting plays like this for Williams.
Williams a mismatch, and smart of McMillan not to foul and just let her have it. McMillan, it's a pull-up jumper, and it spun off her hand weirdly. Williams roaring the other way, loses her dribble. McMillan will look to run. Williams a little slow to get up. She's bringing back into the play now. Thomas, corner 3. That was blocked. Mitchell got a piece of that. Wow. Kamari Mitchell's been everywhere. Smith the other way, bangs it under the backboard. She got a step too deep into the paint there, Vic.
Yeah, Special Jennings wanted a whistle blown from Nevada Wilson.
Sorrentino this time gets it with the left hand around Bowman. Sorrentino with 13. That'll cut it back down to 3. But the Hatters need a little bit more from their stars. McMillan with 10. Thomas with just 6. Williams will go with Promise Keshi. There's the help. Goes to the corner. Mitchell for 3. It's good! Kamari Mitchell, a career 21% three-point shooter, knocks one down from the corner, and JU back up by 6.
That's the great look that you wanted to get. You get all the focus on Williams, who's getting in the flow offensively. You leave Mitchell in the corner, and she buries the triple.
Jacksonville is 4 of 6 from 3 in the second half. Good shovel pass by Sorrentino, and Jorah Epley on a second effort earns 2 free throws. Epley had only taken 5 two-point shots all season. She takes 2 more here and that's the line.
And that's what Stetson has to do. They know that Jacksonville is going to double team them down inside like they did in the first half. Stetson did a good job to keep the ball moving, find the open man, find the open player. They got away from that in the third quarter. Now they do that here in the fourth to Epley get to the free throw line.
Third foul on Kamari Mitchell. It's been massive for Jacksonville. And Epley misses the free throw. The Hatters cannot afford to leave points on the line. Jacksonville is now +9 at the free throw line for the game. They made 12 free throws in the third quarter.
And Evan, you brought up to me before we went to the open, as you see the double screen as Central Arkansas trying to close things out in Florence. They got pushed by the Lions toward the back end of the third quarter early in the fourth. It looks like the Sugar Bears will give the Dolphins a top 4 seed in the ASUN tournament next week.
Smith, baseline J, it's good. They are making everything since halftime. JU shooting over 75% in the second half. McMillan doing her best to bring Stetson back into it. Count that one in a foul. That'll be the third on Smith.
And that's what you've seen from Mary McMillan, driving hard to the basket. That's what led her to getting at the career high 33 points in that opening meeting in Jacksonville. Just driving hard, getting the contact, getting the foul, and getting this to a 4-point game.
Free throw is good. McMillan with 13. 4 points separate these two teams. I tend to think this is not the last time they're going to play each other in the next couple of weeks. We'll see how the conference championship shakes out. Brown. Kicking to the corner, Mitchell. Bowman.
Travel.
She walked. Right on top of it, Victor.
And a smart job by Rose Casso, easing up just enough. You see right there, the little pressure, because she assumed there was going to be some contact by Casso.
Remember, Casso has the 4 fouls. A little earlier probably than Limbria would have liked to put her back in the game, but needed now. McMillan fighting through contact will go back to the line. Great little fake dribble handoff there with Garcia Escribano Pozo that caught JU off guard.
And great job by McMillan taking advantage. They'll call it on Tatum Brown. That's her second, and already the third foul called on Jacksonville.
Yeah, the whistles have gone the other way here in the fourth quarter. Stetson is not fouled yet, and McMillan will have 2. You mentioned it right off the rip, the free throw shooting with Mary. She is so gifted. Her percentage you'd think would be a little bit higher. She's perfect tonight so far, 3 for 3. Hatters need these, and they get them. McMillan 8 points from the last play of the third quarter to now. 15 for the night, 2-point game. Bowman knocked away by Casso. Hatters with numbers. McMillan ahead. Casso drops the pass and was heads up enough to throw it off of Smith and keep possession.
Yeah, Casso did a good job. She understood that she had Smith on her right hip pocket. Here's the outlet from McMillan. And watch Casso, understanding that she had a little room. Boop! Do it off the backside.
Smith shouldn't give up on that play right there, Victor. That ball was still in. Rookie will learn a lesson from that one in the film room. McMillan lobs it into Keshi just ahead of 5 seconds. Good coverage there by Jacksonville. McMillan, that's a 2. It's good. We're tied. McMillan finally starting to get cooking here in the fourth quarter. 8-2 run by Stetson to bring it back. Williams, what's her response? Working inside, off the glass and good. Williams with 23, Jacksonville back into the lead. Williams' 8th 20-point game of the season.
Had an easy mismatch with Hotso down and low. Just drive that shoulder in and another steal.
McMillan the turnover, and Mitchell will toss it back to Williams, who says, let's cool our jets here a little bit. Gives it to Tatum Brown. Anybody's game now. Looked like JU might pull away. The Hatters come back. Smith draws a switch, kicks it out. Brown for 3, in and out. And the rebound down to Keshi. Brown wins it back, and a foul on Promise Keshi. There was a ton of contact in the painted area. Bowman was on the ground. Officials let it go, and finally Keshi called for her 4th foul.
Good closeout down by Bradshaw on the corner 3. Bodies flowing all over the court. And then Keshi, that left arm on the back of Tatum Brown, whistles her for the foul.
Well, Keshi has to check out here. Stetson cannot afford to lose her. Even not having her on the floor now is a huge issue. Sorrentino back in.
And now your 2 defensive aces, Keshi and Casso, both with 4 fouls.
Williams working on Casso. Williams dumps it off. Brown has to try and save it. Miscommunication and a turnover by JU. That'll take us to a timeout on the floor. What a great ball game this is. Jacksonville throwing haymakers. Stetson coming back with some of their own. 2-point game, 5 minutes left. You can feel March in the air. Priscilla Williams, 23 points. Jacksonville overcoming an 18-point deficit to take the lead. But Stetson not going away either. Mary McMillan has fought back. 7 points already in the fourth quarter. 17 for the night. 2-point game. 4:54 to go. Do we have the official final with
62-55? It is
okay.
official, which means Jacksonville, no matter what happens, will be a top 4 seed.
But if they want the ASUN regular season title, they do need to win this game.
But however, Evan, that would not be official because Eastern Kentucky blew out Austin Peay in the fourth quarter to win that game. So
Right.
unless Eastern Kentucky gets stunned by Bellarmine in the regular season finale, EKU will be the 1 seed in the regular season champ.
Yeah, that seems very likely. Mary McMillan going back to the free throw line here. She has made all 4 of her attempts here down the stretch. Make it 5 for 5. They needed every single one of them. That was the third foul on Tatum Brown, who had largely done a really good job on McMillan tonight. But McMillan, too good a basketball player, averaging 24.5 points a game over her last 4, up to 19 tonight. We are tied at 70.
This is the kind of game, Evan, we expected when we walk into the arena tonight. Two tightly contested teams.
This will be the last women's basketball game played in this arena this year. It has been a fitting finale. That one thrown away, deflected by Stetson. 8 to shoot. Here for Jacksonville. Williams loses her dribble. Shot clock winding down. Williams have to jack it up from 25 feet. Misses. Offensive rebound, Bowman. Now it's Mitchell. Leaves it for Bowman inside. No good with a layup. Oh, great effort by Bowman, and had an open shot and couldn't knock it down. Hatters now with a chance to take the lead. By the way, North Florida, who's been playing better the last 2 weeks, but is 4-12 in the league, is now leading at Alico Arena with under a minute to go. What has happened to Florida Gulf Coast this year is absolutely astonishing in the first true year of the post-Carl Semesco, Chelsea Lyles era. Casso shot blocked, late whistle.
Yep,
and Special Jennings is fuming. Foul is on Bowman for third.
Bowman trying to get the help ball, but I think they got some hands on the back end, and now it's Special Jennings having some words with Heather Marshall, our lead official. Yeah, that left arm got on Casso, which he was trying to get the tie up, which would have given the possession arrow back to Jacksonville.
Casso shooting 2. The first is good, and Stetson back in the lead. An 11-4 run to retake the advantage. Second, no good, and Mitchell snags the rebound. 1 point Stetson lead. This is Williams. Throw it to Brown. Keshi getting ready to come back with the 4 fouls for Stetson. 3.5 minutes left. Brown working on McMillan. Miller hit 2 big threes in the third quarter. She'll drive inside. Bowman, tough 2-point shot. No good from the baseline. Not a good shot for Jacksonville.
And a good job by Rose Casso with the 4 fouls, passing it off to Sorrentino.
McMillan fouled by Brown.
And that's going to be her 4.
Yep, it sure is.
And now the whistle's going away in favor of the Hatters after what happened in the third quarter. And McMillan kind of doing what Jacksonville did in the third quarter, driving inside, forcing the defenders to make a decision. And now McMillan will go back to the free throw line.
McMillan, a perfect 6 for 6, 19 points, 5 assists tonight. Looking for her 4th 20-point game in 5 nights, and she's got it. She had 7 points going into the final play of the third quarter. Wow. Keshi is back for Stetson. McMillan, 2 more. 8 for 8 at the free throw line. All in the third quarter and on. And a timeout for Special Jennings.
If anything else, to continue her thrusting over to Heather Marshall. And I give these officials, Evan, a ton of credit, understanding the situation and the stakes at hand for both teams, giving these coaches a lot of leeway to express their frustrations about these whistles that have been called, especially in the second half.
There was Jacksonville living at the free throw line like they do. First in the country in free throws attempted per game. in the third quarter. It's been Stetson in the fourth quarter that has been parading to the stripe, and that has helped them take the lead.
9 of 11 Stetson at the free throw line. Jacksonville yet to get to the line in this fourth quarter.
Wow.
Meanwhile, in Orico Arena, 55-55, North Florida and FGCU are tied. You see a picture going on right now.
Yeah, just to see FGCU under 500 in late February for the year is remarkable.
But the Eagles have got the steal, and they're going to go to the line with 15 seconds left with a chance to take the lead.
A-Sun never sleeps. Here's Brown for Jacksonville. Got it. Tatum Brown quiets this crowd. 2-point make of her own. That cuts the lead to 1. Brown with 11 points. Here's Sorrentino for Stetson. It's going to be McMillan. 8 to shoot. Brown going over the pick. McMillan drives right by her, floats it up, and in, and the foul!
That has been Mary McMillan's game in the first half. She gets the floater, does a good job keeping in the air as long as possible. Fortunate doesn't get that knee in the chest whistle for the charge.
Vic. I don't know.
And I mean, that was very, very close to being an offensive foul.
Special Jennings just had this look of disbelief. That could have gone either way.
Yes.
Remember, there is no restricted area in women's basketball anymore, so that was a legal set by Miller. Had she been fully set, the official determined she was not. Instead, it is a 3-point play for McMillan, and the Hatters with a 2-possession lead, 76-72.
Stetson has scored 18 points in his fourth quarter. Mary McMillan has 14 of those 18.
And Miller has fouled out of the game. Williams, no good off the back iron. It's Casso with a rebound.
Whoa!
Players going to the deck here. Whistles blow. If it's a held ball, it's going back to Jacksonville, or was it a foul?
Let's take a look at that Williams missed 3. You see Casso got the rebound. They're going to call
it's a held ball. It's going to stay with Jacksonville. They're going to get an extra possession. I think that's the right call.
Yeah. Great job sneaking inside there by Bowman.
Mitchell behind everybody, and the foul!
And Casso has just fouled out.
Rose Casso is gone. Kamari Mitchell has tied a career high.
Great job, a great inbound play by Special Jennings. Casso, you have to be smarter in situations like that. You know you're playing with 4 fouls. I know you're hesitant. I know you're quick to see that player go through and go free, but you gotta let that play go.
And how wild is this? Cameron Thomas was not in the closing lineup for Stetson. She comes back in for Casso, who has fouled out. Garcia Escribano-Pozo, her defense has been so good here in the fourth. Mitchell misses. Williams looking for it, but can't keep it in play. Oh, Williams had position, just could not stay on her feet. And the Hatters will come away with the basketball, up by 2.
And how about the play of this sophomore from Spain being asked to come through in the biggest minutes of Stetson's regular season with a chance to get a top 4 seed in the balance.
It's all on McMillan here. 14 points already in the fourth quarter. Here she goes. Draws the double, kicks it out. Thomas, back to McMillan for 3. It's good! Mary McMillan unconscious! Williams the other way. No good, but a foul. Mary McMillan. Goodness gracious.
You're so focused on Cameron Thomas, you leave McMillan wide open, and the way she's been shooting the last 4 games, Evan, that's almost automatic.
It's a good closeout.
But even a better execution offensively, and in the other end, Williams drawing a foul on Cameron Thomas. That's only her second.
Williams makes the first. Needs both of these to cut this to 1 possession.
The stars have been stars, Evan. Williams looking for 25. She gets it. McMillan with 27.
Wow. McMillan 17 in the fourth quarter. Keshi. And a screen for McMillan. Now to throw it back out. McMillan tightly guarded by Mitchell. McMillan driving on Mitchell. Throws it up well short. Didn't get the call. Chance to tie here with a three for JU. Williams will pull up.
Yeah, Brown open for a moment.
Here is Brown. Will she jack one up? She
Travel.
walked. Sorrentino baits her into the travel.
And she had that right foot already leaning forward. Watch Brown. Their right foot already going forward. That's an easy call for the official. Now, this is where both coaches saving their timeouts come into play. Each coach with 2 30s and a full 60-second timeout. Stetson with the possession in favor in case we have a held ball.
Could be a long final minute here. Hatters can make it a lot simpler with a basket here. McMillan accelerates. She's going to the line. Got hooked right as she went into her drive by Bowman. That's her fourth. And McMillan, with even one of these, can make the math a lot harder on the Dolphins.
And this is what Mary McMillan has done time and time and time again in the fourth quarter. Force the issue. Make Jacksonville defend you head up. And she has been absolutely remarkable. And before that last possession in the third quarter, Evan mentioned it, McMillan had 7 points.
Yep.
Now she has 28.
An insane outburst from Mary McMillan, who's trying to be the ASUN Player of the Week 3 weeks in a row going into the conference championship. She has made all 11 of her free throws from the last play of the third quarter on. 81-76 Stetson, and here's a timeout. Hatters had 3 left, Jacksonville had 2. The scoreboard was in error. It had that reversed, so the officials are trying to figure that out. But this is a timeout for Special Jennings, so she has just 1 left here with 47 seconds left. Dick, sometimes you can get into the nitty-gritty of what a team is doing tactically. Sometimes it's just a team star player putting them on her shoulders, and it seems that's what Mary McMillan has done for the Stetson Hatters here tonight.
And what's so remarkable, Evan, we kind of referenced this in our open, is that McMillan has been the offensive juggernaut, pacing Stetson's winning 7 of their last 9. They've gotten 6 points from Cameron Thomas, nothing in the second half, and have found a way to find themselves back up 5 after blowing an 18-point lead in the third quarter and being down 6.
Thomas was averaging nearly 20 points a game through the non-conference. She was one of the leading scorers in the country, has faded significantly as ASUN play has gone on, but part of that too, I think, has just been McMillan taking ownership of this team and taking over, and they've been better with McMillan as the driver and first option of this offense.
And the best thing about that, Evan, is that when you have a point guard who can score, you have to worry about the other options, because if you don't collapse down, she can take it herself, and when you do focus around her, she can get out to her ball players. Special Jennings trying to close out a remarkable third season. Lynn Bria, long time, she's been through these wars many, many times. Wow. And with Florida Gulf Coast having the season they're having, this league feels like it's anyone's league to win as we enter the conference tournament next week.
And for the first time in 20 years, Williams, a quick 3, no good. Keshi with a block from behind on Brown. Escribano Pozo to the ground. There is a foul.
Yeah, it could be a foul call
on Jacksonville. I saw the foul signal go up from the baseline. Let's see. First of all, Promise Keshi.
Again, blocking away from the ball without fouling. Mitchell's whistle for the foul. That's going to be her fourth.
So it's 4 on Mitchell. It's Garcia Escribano Pozo going to the line for the 2 biggest free throws of her career. She is shooting 68% from the line this year. The sophomore from Spain, bringing tremendous defense in this fourth quarter. Lynn Bria trusting her to close this game out. She misses the first free throw. Hatters still with a good cushion here. They'd love a chance to extend it. 0 for 2 for Garcia Escribano Pozo. And Special Jennings will use her final timeout with 33 seconds left.
Yeah, so final timeout called by Jacksonville. So she's going to really trust on her defense to try and get themselves back in this game. The officials are going to change the, I think the coaches are talking where they want to have this inbound take place off that final timeout.
Yeah,
with
Jacksonville is going to advance the ball. Well, now they've got to sort this out. And meanwhile, Stetson has already blown an 18-point lead in this game. Trying to hang on. 2 big missed free throws from Garcia Escribano-Pozo.
And I think the officials are going to go to the monitor to reevaluate how much time is left on the clock.
Yeah.
Right now it says 33.3, so it wouldn't surprise me if they add maybe 2 or 3 tenths more on the clock, because they're going to reset it to where the timeout was granted to Special Jennings. So those tenths can make all the difference in the world. Nope, it looks like the time is correct.
All right, so it is Jacksonville ball, 33.3.
And you see Limbria already making the signal. If you get the rebound or if you get a basket, call timeout. You got 3 left. Advance the ball past Mick. Advance the ball.
You don't get to take them home with you. Bowman quickly into a 3. No good. Sorrentino the rebound, and the Hatters immediately call timeout. Jacksonville, that's 2 possessions now, Vic, where they've gone for the quick 3. The math says that's the right idea. They just haven't been able to knock them down. And this is not a team that is built to make threes. It's not really their strength.
And this is, again, Jacksonville comes in shooting 33% from 3. And you saw Limbria give the motion before that last 3-pointer. Get the rebound, call timeout, advance the ball. Don't give Jacksonville a chance to try and trap or force a turnover.
Bowman, by the way, had taken 3 3-pointers all season. That can't have been the shot.
You'll live with that.
That they drew up there.
If you're Stetson, you will live with her taking that 3-pointer, knowing that she shot 3 of those all season. So now you get the rebound, you advance the ball past the timeline. You got 29.3 seconds left. It's your goal. Get the ball to McMillan. Get the ball to Keshi. If you can get the ball to Cameron Thomas, get it to her.
Everybody on the floor for the Hatters is a good free throw shooter, between Bradshaw, who's just checked in for Garcia Escribano-Pozo, Thomas, Keshi, and McMillan. Sorrentino, the only non-plus free throw shooter in the 5, is going to inbound at her height.
And again, they're going to check to see how much time. They're going to check to see how much time is left in the clock. Okay, so actually we're going to review for a flagrant foul.
A potentially unobserved flagrant foul, we're being told.
Yeah, and I think saw Priscilla Williams motioning over to Special Jennings about some arms flailing around. And it likely was on that prior to the rebound from Sorrentino.
It had to have been. There was just a scrum of bodies boxing out underneath the basket after the missed 3 by Bowman.
Now, the two things that the official's going to look for. Number 1, when did the foul occur? That's the number 1 thing. What did it happen after? Did it happen before the rebound? And was there clear possession established by either team? So let's take a look. Here's the 3. There's the action down. Ooh. The way that looked, I don't believe it was malicious enough to be a flagrant foul. Williams was just trying to shove Pozo out of the way for positioning. Here's the wide angle.
This would be disastrous if it is called a flagrant for Jacksonville. They just get tied up. Yeah, Williams kind of brushes the face of Garcia Escribano-Pozo. I don't know if that quite rises to the level of a flagrant.
Right, I agree with the officials reviewing it. Just it's one of those situations where it looked a lot worse to what it actually was. But you understand the officials wanted to make sure they get all the vantage points. You want to see, was it from the multiple views that we had, it didn't appear to be malicious, so it's probably just no flagrant foul, play on. Let's take one more look here as you see how the Marshall, Marlon, Wong taking their perspective. Look at Williams and Pozo down below. Watch Williams. Watch the left. Oh, watch Williams' left arm. Flipping away the sophomore. So it also serves as an extra timeout for Jacksonville because of the officials' review.
Yes. Well, remember, Stetson had called timeout anyway.
They did,
it does,
correct.
Does give them a lot longer to talk it over.
The fact they're taking this long of a time. Again, the question is, it was clear that the foul occurred right as Sorrentino was collecting the rebound. So, and Stetson already has the ball in their possession. So the question is, will there be, the session already has possession, so it's going to be an additional 2 free throws for the flagrant foul, and then
they would get the ball.
Right, and then if that's the case, this is a flagrant foul, Stetson can choose whoever they want to shoot those 2 free throws uncontested. It looks like Marlon Wall will come on over and have a confirmation.
So, nothing in it. That's the official word. I think they got that one right.
Yeah. You want to take as much time as you can to kind of make sure that there wasn't, and they had all the different angles that you saw, and now you see Special Jennings trying to signal everything. You see Bradshaw and Keshi in the backcourt off from our screen.
Here we go. Williams with those long arms trying to block Sorrentino, who throws it away.
Oh, and
Anaya Smith is down.
Oh, man.
In serious pain.
Yeah, Smith took a hard fall.
Good to see her pop right back up.
Yeah, Smith was trying to draw the offensive foul on Mary McMillan. Tom should have run off the clock because I don't think that ball touched McMillan.
No, it never did.
Yeah, so they need to reset that to 29.3.
That is a huge break for Jacksonville. So Stetson with the 2 missed free throws and then
the turnover.
The turnover have kind of left the door open for JU. Special Jennings pointing at the clock. They've put 28.3 on the clock. And it goes to Smith. Jacksonville needs a quick something here. Smith driving inside, gets the 2. And the Hatters smartly do not foul. Limbria will use another timeout. She'll have 1 remaining after this. Jacksonville cuts it down to 1 possession. Hatters need to get this ball inbounds, Victor. Cannot have a repeat of the last one.
Yeah, that's going to be the final 30-second timeout for Limbria. She has to have full timeout left, so Stetson down to 1 timeout. That's a 60. Both team. You see that 1 foul for Stetson. They have that foul to give. That could come in play if at the very least Stetson gets 1 out of 2.
Well, that could be a real weapon too, because when you're leading, you can foul to run more clock. It delays things. It forces the other team to inbound the ball again and get into a set.
Exactly.
It does take time off the clock. So that's an advantage for Stetson with them leading. And of course, you can always foul up 3. So it's something that they have in their back pocket. But first things first, they got to get this ball in bounds. Sorrentino, McMillan crashing to the ball. Smith is all over her. It'll go to Cameron Thomas. Thomas surrounded by White, who commits the foul, and Thomas will have the 2 free throws.
And good job putting Mikey White in to give a few extra fouls for Jacksonville.
Cameron Thomas, another subpar game for her against JU. This year against Jacksonville, 11 points on 3 of 19 shooting. That is crazy for a player as gifted as Cameron Thomas. It won't matter at all to her if she knocks down one of these. And the first is pure. Her first point since halftime. And what a big one. Mary McMillan with 29. Hatters trying to close this thing out. Thomas back at the line. She gets both. 5-point lead. Hatters will sub. Garcia Escobar-Pozo back in for defense.
Special Jennings wanted to verify Kevin Marshall wanted to verify the possession arrow.
Tatum Brown, Mitchell, corner 3. It's good! And Lynn Bria uses her final timeout. Kamari Mitchell, a new career-high 19 points, keeps Jacksonville in the ballgame.
Great job by Mitchell. Tried to draw the contact on Bradshaw for a possible 4-point play. She doesn't do it, but gets the three to cut it to a 2-point game and forces Stetson to use their final timeout.
Wow, you're going to see what this means to Kamari Mitchell. Her previous high was a 16-point game she had last year at Florida State, early in her freshman season. This is the best game of her career. Again, Jacksonville is not even in this spot if she doesn't keep them around when Stetson was piling on in the second quarter. Up to 19 points. And now the Hatters will have to get it in and knock 2 free throws down again to hold off the Dolphins. Both teams are out of timeouts. You said it, Vic, it was going to be a long final minute. We also had the flagrant foul review.
Yes.
So this final minute has been 10 and counting at this point. But this is it. No more timeouts. Hatters have to get it in. And then we will see what exactly happens at the free throw line. And they get the ball in.
And that number down on the bottom right of the Stetson box, they do have a foul to give as Stetson plays a little merry-go-round around Kamari Mitchell.
Sorrentino has to get it in towards McMillan. She's lost it. Jacksonville has it. 10 seconds. Williams driving, throws it up. No good. Keshi in the scrum and a foul. Priscilla Williams with a chance to tie as the Hatters throw away the inbound. But Promise Keshi comes away with the rebound and will go to the line with a chance to ice it.
So now
Mitchell has fouled out.
Unbelievable. Great defense again by Jacksonville and Smith. Scrum on the floor. They get the ball to Williams. Drives it. They have Brown in the corner, but Williams was so focused on trying to get the tie. She had 4 white jerseys around her.
Williams got a piece of the inbound.
She did.
That's why it was so poorly thrown in. Again, Victor, I think in the situation JU was in, your best player has a chance to tie the game. You probably take that. And Promise Keshi, who has had an unbelievable night defensively, really both ways. Now 15 points, 6 rebounds, 6 steals, and 3 block shots. And she has iced this one for the Hatters at the line. They're going to win this game, barring a miracle. Wow. What a basketball game.
And if you're Stetson, hey, all you got to do if you're Stetson, play it back, because Jacksonville is going to try and jack up a 3, and there's any white jersey near you, they're going to try and throw themselves into you and get the foul.
Let them do whatever they'd like. Don't even have to play defense. They're going to send Williams down the floor, try and throw it up to her and see if she can draw contact and knock one down. Stetson subs. There's no timeout here. Jacksonville's got to go. The officials give the ball to White. Here we go. 4 seconds. Williams comes to get the basketball. Hatters leave her be. Williams throws up a 3, won't matter, and Stetson hangs on. The Hatters and the Dolphins both will be in the quarterfinals of the ASUN Championship. JU's 9-game winning streak is over. Stetson has now won 8 of their last 9. They've drawn level, 1-1. Will there be a rubber match up in the River City next week?
What a battle it was. And Evan, this is the game that we expected to see tonight. Both teams slugging it out. Stetson with the big lead. Stetson having to battle back. Jacksonville times back, overcomes the 18-point deficit, takes the lead, and then Mary McMillan with the 4th quarter of the ages. And she had 7 points.